What's up, wealth builders? Today we're switching up the content and we're going back into the field. We are in Iowa. We own multiple apartment buildings in Iowa, and today on this video, I'm going to show you all of them. We're gonna go walk through them, talk about numbers, what we bought them for, where they're at today, talk about some of the hard things we've had to go through to get to this point, and I'm gonna show you a new acquisition that we'll be raising capital for, and you can be a part of if you're an accredited investor. So this property we have is called the Hawthorne and is in Quad Cities, Iowa, and it's a mix of apartments and townhomes that make up 96 different units. Now, this building, okay, it looks really good and everything is fully renovated, but you probably would never believe that just a little over a year ago, nobody was here. It was completely vacant. It was actually condemned by the city. Nobody wanted it. And we, for some reason, decided, hey, we're gonna go buy this thing. We're gonna go fix them all up and we're gonna go get them fully occupied and help this community. And that's exactly what we did. Within a year, we got the entire thing fixed up. And now in less than a year and a half, it is fully occupied. Now, this is a very different model than most apartment syndicators because, you know, people want to buy deals that are cash flowing right off the bat and they want things that are safe. Like, you know, somebody would probably buy this from us now that it's the way it is. But for me, coming from the house flipping world, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. You know, I'm used to buying properties that nobody wants and putting in the work to fix them up. And for us, you know, that's exactly what we did here. And it's been an amazing turnaround, not only just because the deal has gone well, but because we were able to improve the city and the community. We're able to get tax exemptions because of everything we were doing for the town. And now we've provided 96 more units that this city drastically needs. And I know a lot of people want to talk about real estate and landlords kind of raising prices for people, and it's becoming really hard to find affordable housing, but there's the other side of it, like what we just did here, where we're doing a big service for the community and providing affordable housing that didn't exist before. All right, so let's check out what one of these renovated units looks like. Obviously you can see the building, everything looks nice and clean in the hallway. We got these nice, you know, address numbers, give it a little modern feel. And man, this looks really good. So this is actually the office at which the management company works from. It's kind of like the model showroom since there's really nothing to actually show them. So, I mean, it looks great. You know, you've got the beautiful LVT flooring. All the bathrooms have been renovated. It reminds me a lot of some of my flips. All of the colors look good from the outside and the inside. You've got the gray doors, white walls. Carpet looks great. It's a very good size apartment. And then you have, you know, this kitchen over here with the little kitchen dining area, and it's just everything you need for this area. Like, I'm just super impressed with the team being able to pull off renovating this entire place from zero. So let's talk numbers. We purchased this building for $2.8 million, which for 96 units is less than $30,000 a unit. That's absolutely insane. But, you know, there was a reason we got that. Obviously it was condemned and need a lot of rehab. We spent a little over $4 million to renovate this building. You know, very few people would be willing to take on a project like that because it's a big lift, but you know, our team crushed it. So now we're in the process of refinancing this building. It was recently appraised around $8.5 million. And so now we're gonna be able to pull some of our investor capital out and just sit on this property for the next 3 to 5 years and let it cash flow and appreciate. We expect that interest rates will go down in the years to come and the price is gonna continue to rise. And so I won't be surprised if we sell this building for over 10 or 11 million when it's all said and done. And for those curious on how much these units are renting for, they're anywhere from $800 to $1,000. So very affordable compared to all of the housing you see, especially on the West Coast. And because we were able to help the city out and provide this housing, we were able to get $90,000 a year in tax breaks, which is going straight to our bottom line for our investors. Now, I'll be transparent with you guys. We started doing apartments about 2 years ago. Now, little did we know 2 years ago that the real estate market would completely shift on the commercial side. We didn't know that rates were gonna more than double. And you know, for commercial real estate, rates doubling hurt it tremendously because the value of a building is based on the net operating income. And so when your debt servicing goes up like that, it makes deals really hard to pencil out in cash flow because now your mortgage is so much more. And in addition to that, we had to get a short-term bridge loan that had higher interest in order to buy this because it was condemned. Nobody was living here. You can't get a normal loan on this. And long story short, we ended up buying it with all of these negative things that were going to be against us that we didn't know about. But the thing I'm most proud of is that we were able to accomplish all of this with all of those factors against us that we didn't know was coming, with the rates, the economy, and everything else. So this deal's already been a great deal at this point, but when you factor in all that other stuff, it's an absolute home run for us. But this was just the first deal that we bought in Iowa. The second one we bought was a 30 unit, few minutes down the road, that was in the same exact situation. 0% occupancy, condemned, all of that. And what's cool about that deal is we're selling off chunks of that apartment. So we've already sold 6 units and we're gonna be selling more of them to just exit and get out of that one. And once we sell off all those units, our investors will have gotten a 20% plus IRR. We might even go over 30%. So overall, Quad Cities, Iowa has been really good to us. Now, we're gonna go check out the one we bought in Iowa City next to the University of Iowa. All right guys, we're going straight from the airplane to the apartment, now to the golf course. No warm up, we got rental clubs. Let's see how it goes. We're gonna try and hit a bomb anyway. It's right. Get in. Oh, you got a birdie off. You got a birdie off. All right, last shot before we go check out the apartment in Iowa City. We're 78 yards out. We need a little finesse right here. Downhill lie. Looks like cash. Oh, a little short roll. It's not too bad. All right, it's day 2. We are here in Iowa City, right next to the University of Iowa, and this is the 81 units that we bought last year. Now, this building is doing really well. It's 98% occupied. It's exceeding projections. And now that I'm here looking at everything, it's obvious why. I mean, we have such great proximity to the school. Across the street is their dentist program, and then over there is their medical school. So you've got a lot of medical students and employees who stay at these apartments, and then, you know, it's in super high demand. So we bought this building last August and we got it for $6.8 million. Since then, we've done some renovations, got it fully occupied, and we're all into it for just under $8 million bucks. Now, we got a pretty good rate at 5.75%. So unlike the other building where we refinanced and we're pulling some capital out, we don't really want to refinance this because the rate is good and it's fully occupied and now it's cash flowing really well. If we wanted to, it's probably going to appraise around 9 to 10 million. So we've already got a lot of equity built in, but for our investors and for us and everything else, it's better to just sit on it, let it keep doing what it's doing, let it cash flow, let rents continue to increase as the years go on, and then exit this thing in a few years and have a nice profit. Now, when we bought this building last year, the average rent was just under $800. Since renovating and releasing everything, now the average rent is around $1,100. So, you know, with apartments, as I said before, your value is going to be determined by your net operating income. And so for us, if we can increase rents and increase the overall top line, then the net operating income is going to increase and we're going to be able to make this thing even more valuable as time goes on. But in just a year, the amount of value we've created for this building has already been significant. And the other cool thing is this building will always be in demand because its location is grade A for this town. I mean, it's right next to the campus, so we'll never have to worry about not having enough demand. In fact, we have a massive wait list of people who want to be in this building. So some of the renovation budget went towards refinishing all of this balcony area, you know, from the wood and the railing and everything else. It looks really good. But another thing I want to bring up that's unique about this property is, as you can see, it's built on these stilts and we have this parking garage underneath right here. You know, if you look at all the other buildings around here, they're all just built on the ground level like normal. And so they have significantly less parking than we have. And so, you know, I really like what they did building it high up so that we can have better parking for our tenants, and the parking is covered as well, which is really good when you're in an area like this that has snow and gets really cold. So now we're gonna go check out one of the units, but as you can see, we've got branding in the apartment. You guys know I love branding, so the forum should make this wealthy apartments like Cardone's doing. This is a 2-bedroom unit, and this is what we would call one of our light renovations. As you saw with the first apartment we had at Hawthorne, we literally had to renovate everything brand new because it was fully condemned and it was, not very good. Some of these units were already in good shape and we just had to do a light renovation. So over here, like these cabinets are still the original cabinets and they're in great shape. So there's not really a reason to replace them. We did some things like put new countertops, get some newer stainless steel appliances. But, overall, this unit still has a lot of the original features. There were other units where we did have to replace a bunch of stuff. But, if we get something like this that's already in good shape, there's no reason to replace it, especially for student housing. We want to try and keep this in the affordable range for students because we know who our clientele is. They don't need, all these luxury features that you might expect in other types of housing. So, you got a 2-bedroom over here, carpet throughout, everything is nice and clean. Somebody's gonna rent this thing for probably $1,000 and, it's just gonna be a great spot for them, especially being next to the campus. So this is the only other vacant unit. The other one I just showed you was pre-leased, and so this one is up for rent for $1,100, and as you can see, it's pretty much the same. Those cabinets were fine, no need to change them. Put some new counters, some new appliances. This unit's a little bit bigger. The kitchen's got an island and all that, and you get 2 bedrooms in the back, the living room, and so, overall, this is the building. And for me, it's kind of interesting because I spend so much time in my office. I don't go out in the field a ton anymore. And getting back out in the field helps me realize that everything we're doing as real estate investors is a really good thing for the community. You saw what we did with the Hawthorne project where literally no one could live there. It was an eyesore for the community. And now we've provided affordable housing for so many new people. And we've turned something that, wasn't making the city any money with taxes and stuff like that into an amazing opportunity for, growth in their own economy. But even for this one, it makes me realize just seeing all of the college kids, going in and out of the apartment and seeing like they're gonna be able to, have a good place to study and, go through school and get ready for their career in the real world. Like, it's just a different feeling. Sometimes I forget how much we do for the community when we improve real estate like this. And I flipped over 500 homes. So I've been able to go into properties, fix them up, and turn them over to a family. And that's always fulfilling. But to see it on a large scale with apartments and multifamily is really cool. And so if you're looking for a place to get great returns on your capital, if you're looking to help improve communities, then I'd love to have you at Pineda Capital with us. It's pretty simple. You can just go to pinedacapital.com or click the link below to apply for a call with my team. We'll walk you through our deals and show you how you can be a part of them. But I want to show you this new deal we're about to be a part of that I'm really excited about over in Des Moines, Iowa. So let's go check it out.
Well, you know what? I'm getting flashbacks of what it was like when I was playing minor league baseball. So a lot of people don't know, but my first full season in the minor leagues, I lived in Iowa in a city called Burlington, which is way smaller than everything we've gone to in Iowa thus far. And throughout that year, we played 140 games in the Midwest League, and we just drove through the entire Midwest. I just remember seeing all these cornfields and, basically nothing. And it's just bringing back a lot of memories going through it. But it's also made me realize like how everything comes full circle, because I never thought I'd be just driving through Iowa again. I thought those days were over, and yet now I'm here for a different purpose. So life's weird like that.
So what do you do for the company?
So I handle all of our operations and all of our underwriting for acquisitions. So whenever we get a new deal, I'm the first point of contact, take a look at it, speak with the operator, speak with the broker if there is one, underwrite the deal, see if it's a fit for us, and then handle all the steps, if we do decide to move forward with it.
How many deals do we look at that we say no to before we finally have one that we say yes?
A lot. Usually we try to filter things out that don't fit our buy box, whether it's like location or unit count. So most of them, don't meet that criteria right off the bat, and we turn those away. The ones that do meet our buy box through unit count or location, there's a lot of other factors that would go into it that we would say no to. So I don't know, I would say, for every 100 deals we look at, maybe 10 we look into further, and then, maybe one we're really interested in. So
basically,
it takes a lot.
Yeah, 99% of the stuff doesn't work out. And the thing is, too, I say that with house flips, that, you got to look through hundreds of deals to get one. It's like, well, the payoff is you go make 30, 40 grand on a flip, and it's worthwhile for, somebody just getting started. But the apartment side is significantly more different, because underwriting a deal isn't like underwriting a house flip where we just look at the comps. And honestly, I could look at a house flip in less than 5 minutes and figure out what I could pay for it. In an apartment deal, it's not like that. You got to go look through all the rent rolls. You got to do some extreme due diligence and pro formas and build out all of these things that you just don't really do in single family. So it's definitely a heavier lift to find a deal. The other thing is Austin lives in Chicago, which I've always wanted him to live in Vegas with the rest of the team. But, a lot of our deals are actually in the Midwest or around here. So it kind of makes sense to have him close by so that he can easily go check on the properties and everything else. And, if we ever did have deals on the West Coast, then it'd be easy for us to just go over there too.
So now we're here in Des Moines, Iowa at the Bexley, which is a really unique property for a few different reasons. One is you've got 132 units with a ton of amenities, which I'm going to show you here in a second. The second reason is we are now coming in after the acquisition to help out. So, our operating partner on the first 2 apartments had already bought this property about 5 months ago, and now he's bringing us in to do a few things. We're going to help with operations, we're going to help with marketing, doing things like this that you see, and then we're also going to be raising some capital to get rid of the acquisition loan that was used to purchase this. And so this is a really unique opportunity for investors like yourself, because it's already been acquired and it's already exceeding projections. And so we kind of get to come in at a much safer position. So let me show you what I'm talking about. The other cool thing about this property are these detached garages. So you have about 60 of them throughout, and they rent for about $50 a month. So that's bringing in $3,000 a month in revenue for something that doesn't really cost much to maintain. It's pretty simple to do. But as I said with apartments, the real value comes from just generating more net operating income. So having other things like this makes the net income go up, because it has very little expense. But the cool thing is, once you start to factor it all in, just something like that can add almost $500,000 to your overall value. So it's a really cool feature for the tenants and also for us as the investors. Now, speaking of overall numbers, let's talk about this deal. It was purchased for $10.7 million, and when it's all said and done, we should be into it for a little under $14 million. Now, the projection at this point was to sell it for $17 million 5 years from now. But here's the thing, it's already getting more in rent than was anticipated. When it was first bought, we thought that it could get about $1,000 a unit. They're all the same units, so it's pretty easy to project. But as we've renovated it, the demand has been really high, and units are already being rented for $1,075. So it's going well ahead of projections, and it's going to end up being a really good deal. But as I was saying earlier, the very first deal we did, where there was literally no occupancy, there was a lot of risk, we had to renovate everything, it ended up working out great, but it was a risky deal. I mean, it's pretty much as risky as it gets. We just executed really well. For this deal, this is significantly less risky, because it's already been purchased, it's already occupied, it's already in great shape, and we're already exceeding what we thought. From a risk perspective, this is a really great deal for an investor, especially looking at we can potentially achieve 20% plus IRR when it's all said and done. But before going any further, I want to show you what one of the interior units look like, and I want to interview the property manager who's been overseeing all these different projects, so you can get an idea of the amount of work that's gone into this. This is their showroom right here. And as you can see, it's actually very similar to the Hawthorne property that I showed you first. You know, similar flooring, you got a big living room over here. Then you have this kitchen area, you know, dining table, everything like that. With all these apartments, for the most part, they're usually a mix of fully renovated units and then units that, you know, we would just call light touch-ups like this, where you can see, you know, these cabinets are probably original and we cleaned them up a little bit, made them look a little more modern. And then you've got the 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. There's not much to say about apartments. They all look pretty much the same. All right, so I'm here with Aisha, who oversees all of these Iowa apartments.
Yes.
So this is the newest one, right? Mm-hmm. How you like it so far?
I love it. It's a full property, so it's really nice that occupancy is not an issue over here. There's a lot of good potential in the units. They're all 2-bed, 1-bath, so it's really easy to get in and just copy and paste on the renovations and get them done really quickly and get new residents in here.
So which building has been your favorite so far?
Probably this one, just because the transformation, if you see one of the older units that haven't been renovated compared to this end product, it's a big change.
So we were just over at the Iowa City property with all the students, and I saw, you know, school starting right now, so they're all in there. What was it like doing student housing?
The Forum project was new to all of us, and we had about 50 students move out on a Friday. And then the following week, we did all of the unit turns and got all 55 moved in on the next Friday. So it was an insane turnaround.
Yeah.
It was very chaotic, but we had a plan, we executed it, and
yeah,
it went very smoothly. So we're happy with that.
So how big is the waiting list at that project, just with all these students?
Students over there, they're medical students, so they're very on top of everything. And so they're reaching out to us plenty in advance, getting themselves the units leased up. So we know what move-ins we're going to have a month or two in advance.
Yeah.
And so it's just making sure that we get all of the units turned, ready for them. And we still have students reaching out like, hey,
yeah,
if you have anything open,
yeah,
please let me know. So
yeah, no, you're doing an amazing job. I mean, I was super impressed seeing Hawthorne going from like condemned and nobody there to being fully renovated, looking great. And then, you know, we were just in Iowa City looking at that and everything was beautiful. And now seeing this property, I mean, just everything's going really well.
Yeah, we have a really great team, a lot of good people collaborating on these apartments. So it's
yeah,
coming together well.
Yeah, we'll keep crushing it. You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
One thing I want to note while I'm here, so this is the laundry room. You know, these units don't have laundry, and so everyone would use this. There's laundry on each floor for all the buildings. But the interesting thing is a third-party company comes and services this. So, you know, they'll fix it if there are any issues and they collect all the money from it. You know, it's $2 a load. And basically what happens is there's a split between us and this company. And so, you know, a typical split could be 60-40, 50-50, something like that. And it's pretty much just pure profit for us, you know, having this amenity here. So these are little things you can do to increase your net operating income while providing utility for the tenants so they don't have to, you know, go off site and go to a laundromat or something like that. Like I said, what makes this apartment unique is all the amenities. So right here, we are on the sports court. Now, this sports court is really nice. This is literally the same stuff I have in my backyard. And so, you know, this is really high quality stuff that lasts a long time and looks really good. So they got a full court basketball, which they say people are always playing on, they love it. And then they even got pickleball. So you guys know I got basketball, pickleball combo at my house, and I love that they did this because pickleball is a growing sport, and I think in the next few years it's gonna keep getting more popular, so having things like that are going to attract people. But that's not all they have. You know, they've got the playground right behind the pickleball court, which is really nice, and then they're building a dog park over on that side, which, you know, we gotta love the dogs, that's always great. And then you have this clubhouse and pool area. Now the pool, they're building new things in there, it looks good. And then the clubhouse, they're actually turning into a gym. And so they're gonna have this indoor, outdoor gym where you can open up like the garage door, and it's gonna be really cool. So, you know, all the residents here have all these amenities just right smack dab in the center, and it's gonna make it a really attractive spot. That wraps it up for this building, but I wanna bring up one point that is really cool about just real estate investing and this deal overall. So, you know, we've had investors in those first 2 apartments I showed you. And as I said before, that very first one that was condemned and vacant is now being refinanced, and we're gonna be pulling a bunch of cash out. I already know a bunch of our investors from that deal are just going to put their money into this deal. And what's crazy about that is they don't actually have to come out of pocket any more money, right? Their original investment in that first deal over a year ago is now going to allow them to get into this deal tax-free. Refinance proceeds do not get taxed. And so now that first deal that they got is turning into 2 deals, and now they're gonna get an even bigger return on that original capital. So my point with all this is, if you start investing in real estate, it starts to compound really quickly when you get into good deals. And so, you know, if you want to invest in this one, I don't think it's gonna last long. We're raising about $1.8 million. So if you're interested, you can go to pinedacapital.com or click the link below. You can chat with our team. We can understand your investing goals. We can hopefully get you in on this deal if there's still room left. And, you know, if not this one, then hopefully the next one. I'd love to partner with you and help grow our real estate portfolio together. And so if you're an accredited investor, go check it out. And thanks for watching this video. I'll see you later.
If you buy one house every year, after year 5, you just sell the one you bought 5 years ago, and now you make $100,000 a year forever. But I worry what happens when the market shifts dramatically, and a bunch of us start going bankrupt. My income has gone to almost nothing, but I also spend a ridiculous amount of money.
What do you spend a month?
80